run and get one real quick.
Thank you.
We have no time.
Okay, imaginary green color. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day and flower ceremony. My name is Garnet Conaway, and I am proud to serve as your board secretary. Whether you have been with us on Sundays for a long time or you're visiting us for the first time today, hi Claire. Sorry, hey, Claire's visiting. Nice to see you. We welcome you to our service. This congregation is theologically diverse, and we are open to all who agree to live it into our principles, mission, and values. We are a welcoming congregation to people of all sexual orientations, gender identities, races, ethnicities, and abilities, and we unconditionally welcome you as your full, authentic self to our community of caring and commitment to grow as spiritual and moral beings. Our congregational mission is to strengthen our connections to one another and our planet by enlivening minds and spirits, building community through liberating love, and advocating fiercely for justice. Now, it is a custom in our congregation to acknowledge visitors and newcomers. So if it's your first time here, would you mind raising your hand so we can acknowledge you? No? Mother's Day, oh, welcome, hi. Thank you for being here. So I'm gonna hold up an imaginary green mug, of which there is not one here. If you are willing and able to join us for coffee after the service in the fellowship hall, which is down that hallway, and just follow the crowd, if you grab a green mug that's just inside the door to the fellowship hall, we can easily spot you and speak to you if that is your desire. Also, you're welcome to fill out a green card? Yes, green card, which can be found in the back of the pew in front of you. And that way we can keep in touch with you. Just drop it in the offering basket when it comes around. Please know that whatever your religious history, whatever your personal theology, all people of goodwill are welcome here. Your presence makes us better. Your presence makes us whole. Our service will now begin.
Thank you, Garnet. For our chalice lighting today, I would like to share with you part of our new covenant, which describes the commitments we in our congregation make to each other. Second Sunday, humanist group, that's right. We practice radical inclusion and celebrate the diverse identities in our community, recognizing that each of us brings unique gifts and perspectives that contribute to our collective growth and understanding.
Good morning, Goof. Oh, I heard a cute little good morning. That was really sweet. Happy Mother's Day. I hope all the mothers and people in mothering roles have been treated well so far this morning, and your day only gets better. Our call to worship this morning is from the Reverend Meg Barnhouse. Aw, yeah, I know, we love Meg. We gather to worship, our hearts alive with hope that here we will be truly seen, that here we will be welcomed into the garden of this community where the simple and the elegant, the fluted and frilled, the shy and the dramatic complement one another and are treasured. May we know that here each contributes in their way to the beauty of the whole. Come, let us worship together all genders, sexualities, politics, clappers and non-clappers, progressive or conservative. May we root ourselves in the values of this faith: love, interdependence, community, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, and generosity. Come, let us worship together. Please rise and body your spirit to sing hymn 361 in the gray hymnal. This is a very perky one, so I want to see some perkiness. And if you want to yell a little bit, I'm telling the kids in the room, if you want to say today will be a joyful day, okay, you can yell. This is the only time you'll be able to yell in church. Today will be a joyful day, right? Let's all go joyful day. Joyful day! All right.
Good morning, Goof. I'm David Funderburk. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at Goof. And before our story today, I want to recognize some very important people, the folks who have given their time this year to spend with our children and youth in the RE program. And I'm going to start by, this isn't in the order of service, but I'm going to start by reading a poem called Spilling the Light from Reverend Julia Jamaica Soto's poetry collection. And this was just released. And Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto is a Unitarian Universalist minister and activist. Some people are used to keeping rules. Don't cross the street when the light is red. Only sensible. It turns out that keeping rules isn't the same as keeping covenant, which asks us, instead of keeping a bright line, to keep our promises. To what have we promised ourselves? To this moment in time and place, to this community, and even tenderly interconnected this planet. We promise ourselves to the idea that we are each and all human beings. We promise that there is something moving between us that we cannot tame and we cannot measure. The chalice is a reminder that what flame we keep inside us cannot light the way. The light must spill to shine. The thing you must be is yourself, unadulterated, shedding the willingness to journey alone, as though you are made of something hard and unforgivable. You are human. You belong right here, right now. And together we will chase away the sickness, the secrets, and leave only the open possibility that the future is a space for growth. This poem reminds me of what we do in our RE program. We're not teaching the rules of how to be the best Unitarian Universalist to the kids. No one is in our RE classes memorizing a creed. We're there to create the space for growth. And what your kids and youth are doing in RE classes every time they're there is they're practicing the skills of how to be in a learning community together, where everyone is welcome to be themselves fully, and we can all grow together even when we think differently. That's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of care. And so I want to celebrate the people who have helped us do that. So in your insert here, you'll notice there's a list of people who have helped in our RE program this year. And if they're willing, I'd love to just get a visual of who of these folks are here. Could you please stand up if you served on our RE council this year? And if you're willing to stay standing, I'll keep it quick. Can you stand up or remain standing if you were a teacher in our RE programs this year? Even if you only were a Spirit Play doorkeeper once, please stand up. Can you stand if you were a special visitor to one of our RE classes this year? Can you stand if you participated in our Passport Pals program this spring? And can you stand if you have volunteered in the nursery and helped us keep that open on days when we didn't have a paid nursery staff in there? Now, there's way more than this number of people who have kept. If you count, there's 44 people on this list. So if your name, whether you're standing or not, if your name is on this list, I thank you so much for giving your time and sharing your light, spilling your light, with our children and youth this year. And as a small token of gratitude, I hope you will find me after the service in the fellowship hall so that you can pick up your own copy of this lovely book of poetry, Spilling the Light, and a card that I have for you. So please find me after the service. And can we give them another round of applause? Thank you so much. Now it's time for our story. So I welcome any children and youth or anyone of any age who would like to come up and hear the story up close. I think I should probably sit somewhere over here so that the camera can see me. So if we haven't mentioned it yet, our theme for this month is pluralism. In the new proposed Article 2 for the UUA bylaws, they describe this value in the following way. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another In our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, we embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. And that's another great way to sum up what we're doing in our RE classes. We're creating a learning community together where we don't have to all think the same way. So, our book today has a flower in it because it's the flower ceremony, but it also gets to this idea of what happens when we don't always see the world from the same perspective as other people. It's called A Rare Tiny Flower by Kitty O'Meara, illustrated by Quim Torres. Once in a forest, a bird dropped a seed. It wasn't a sapling, it wasn't a weed, but a rare tiny flower that found light and grew. To some, it looked red. To some, it looked blue. Others saw yellow, but many saw green. A more puzzling flower had never been seen. A number saw umber, a small group saw teal. We see it correctly. We see what's real. Each group insisted its vision was right. Agree it's magenta or we'll start a fight. Do you want to grab another mic for me? Is it going out? Okay. It's mustard, it's purple, it's turquoise, it's pink, it's chartreuse, it's puce, it's whatever we think. It's midnight, it's coral, it's violet red, it's silver, it's orange, you're weak in the head. It's sweet periwinkle, it's mango, maroonish, it's white as a snowflake. You're crazy, you're loonish. Powerful leaders arrived, striking poses. We will not agree, and noses met noses. Botanists came to settle the score, but couldn't decide, so the leaders cried, "War!" One pulled up the flower to shove in a vase as everyone hollered and argued their case. The gifts of the flower risked being lost as people drew lines that couldn't be crossed. A little girl watched the loud confrontation, then circled the flower in slow exploration. "Please, look again," came her calm, patient voice. "Why?" cried the screamers. She smiled. "There's a choice." How could this be? What could it mean? What had she noticed that they hadn't seen? She lifted the vase and slowly rotated as all of the people grew still, then elated, for as the girl turned, the colors changed places, flashing a rainbow across startled faces. The people took time for silent reflection, considering matters with deep introspection. Maybe there are other colors to see. What's lovely to you could be lovely to me. What we now understand to be utterly true is how much depends on expanding our view. It could be helpful to breathe and be still, calmly deciding what won't work and will. Enjoying each color and welcoming all, creating a party instead of a brawl. "Oh no," the girl pointed. "Look at the flower. It's wilted and faded and losing its power." Everyone watched as the rainbow unspun. What had their fighting and selfishness done? The rare tiny flower looked shriveled and weak. Its petals were falling. No one could speak. The
People were sad and started to cry. Had their ingratitude caused it to die? The girl very gently returned it to earth. Could it be nourished and loved to rebirth? Her tears showered down and watered it. Then, the rare tiny flower grew healthy again. Its colors exploded, filling the sky, and everyone raised an exuberant cry. All of the people from all of the lands smiled and joyfully reached out their hands. They danced and began composing a song about being friendly and getting along. When hearts come together, kindness can grow. Rainbows can happen more than we know. So much to fix, too many false starts. No time to waste in uniting our hearts. All of creation is precious and rare, and everyone has a color to share. Life is for loving and listening well, and learning all colors have stories to tell. The people were shining, for they were new too. Each one considered the other one's view. A girl and a flower, both small but courageous, made loving all colors quite wildly contagious. The rare tiny flower shared wisdom that day. A rainbow can happen when love leads the way. Thank you for listening. Now, just in case you weren't sure, there's no classes today, so please walk slowly back to your seats.
Name that tune. It's the second Sunday, time for our call for offering. The purpose of the church is to encourage all who gather there to grow more generous in spirit and in action. This is the great end of all the world's faith traditions, to bring the human being closer to the divine by acts of creation and compassion. We now take an offering that allows us to exercise that all-important generosity of spirit, an offering that will support this self-supporting fellowship and its many ministries. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. We are so blessed to have such talented musicians here. Another original by Dionisio. It is our custom in this fellowship to raise, to share the joys and the sorrows that shape our lives, honoring each of these with the lighting of a candle. We recognize that life is not always easy and that we can all have moments of celebration and struggle. We believe that by sharing these experiences with one another, we can celebrate with, support, and uplift each other as we navigate the significant events of our lives. This is from Day. My joy today is that I will be taking a much-needed break in the form of a personal hiatus throughout the month of May. I will be reconnected with my sense of spirituality by writing intense journaled entries, highly recommended, and communing with the trees, also recommended, which need my help during a cicada invasion, sharing well wishes for all. Our next is from Kat and Scott Stellern, celebrating their new nephew, Riker Hansen, born on Friday. Mother and baby are doing great, and our family grows a little larger. Day also writes, please light a candle in concern for food safety. I recently had a serious reaction to the dyes in a purple-colored sports drink and was able to start recovering only by using an over-the-counter medicine meant for seasickness. The experience has made me reconsider what I will and will not contribute to the organizations such as Food Not Bombs, so as to prevent others from having a similar experience. Donna Goethe's husband, Don Boyce, passed away on Thursday. Donna will be in Greenville until the end of May, when she plans to move to California to be near her daughter. The address for cards is 23 Shamrock Circle, Greenville 29611. That'll be reprinted in the e-news. So please, no cards or visits at this time, she asks. And Laura writes, a candle of joy for my sister, Carol Sanders, 18-year breast cancer survivor this week. And Tim Starling is recovering from surgery at home and is doing very well. The last time I was up here, I mentioned my colleague and friend, Matt Dubuque, and sadly, he passed away. 2 days before I made that announcement, it was so sudden. So, thoughts and prayers for his family. And now we will light one final candle to represent all the joys and sorrows held in our hearts but left unspoken.
Please join me in a short time of silence after these meditation words. These are in honor of Mother's Day and are from Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers. The birth mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, the used-to-be dad mothers, and the more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complex. For all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the great mother, you are held and beloved. This is the time of year when we practice what I consider to be a very important Unitarian Universalist ritual. It is rife with symbolism of beauty and simplicity, in the knowledge that everyone has something to contribute in their uniqueness and that we are all better for it. The flower ceremony is a rite of spring, a time when new life emerges, and a time we often feel most connected to nature. There is also a truly important story associated with its creator, which I like to tell every year because the best stories should always be repeated. The flower ceremony ritual was introduced 101 years ago by the Reverend Norbert Chopik. I want to practice, maybe the kids can help me practice saying that name, because this is an important name if you're a UU. How about I say Norbert, you say Norbert? I say Chopik, you say Chopik. I say Norbert Chopik, Norbert Chopik. All right, maybe that will help you remember his name. So Norbert Chopik was a Unitarian minister, and he was a minister in Prague, which is a city, which is the capital of what is now known as the Czech Republic. In 1939, when Prague was under Nazi occupation, American Unitarians offered Reverend Chopik a position as a minister in the United States because they knew that by being a minister of a very minority religion, an open-minded religion, he might be in trouble. But Reverend Chopik replied that he would not desert his congregation and that he would remain in Prague. In his courageousness, Reverend Chopik preached against the Nazi occupation, a very dangerous thing to do. He was regularly questioned by the Gestapo, who demanded that he stop doing this, and for a time, Reverend Chopik stopped speaking against the Nazis in his Sunday morning sermons. But he continued work against the Nazi occupiers by forming a resistance committee which met at his church and helped Czechs who were at the greatest risk escape the country. Finally, in the spring of 1941, Reverend Chopik declared, "I can bear it no longer. I must speak the truth and not be a coward." He used his Sunday morning sermon to contradict one of Hitler's most recent speeches. 5 days later, the Gestapo came to Reverend Chopik's home to arrest him and soon sent him to the concentration camp at Dachau. In prison, Reverend Chopik kept his fellow inmates' spirits up with humor, caring, and cheerfulness. But as he was now over 70 years old and not strong enough to work, he was quickly transported with other older prisoners to the part of the camp where they performed experiments on prisoners. After 4 months at Dachau, Reverend Chopik died in October 1942. His legacy still lives on through Unitarian Universalism, through the flower ceremony, where our flowers represent beauty, simplicity, and holding the strength of our convictions. So now is the fun part when we get to choose our flowers. First, I would like to invite up families with children. Please come up the center aisle and exit down the side aisles. And then after the families are finished, whenever everyone else is ready, also proceed up the middle aisle and exit down the aisles. And if it's easier for us to bring a flower to you or a vase to select from, just raise your hand and we will take care of that. So let us begin. As we finish up, I'd like to ask if anyone would like me to bring a vase to you. I'd be more than happy to. It looks like we have flowers left, so after the service, if you would like to come and take more, you are more than welcome. That is if Adrian doesn't get them all first. During the first flower ceremony in 1923, Reverend Chopik gave the following blessing of the flowers, and this has been translated from Czech into English. All human beings are created in the name of joy and happiness. But thousands of troubles surround us, tormenting us with sadness. If a person cannot see beauty in the world around them, then troubles and sadness tie them down. The beauty of the clouds floating in the sky, the beauty of the spring rain, the beauty of flowers, the beauty of friendship and love. May people see that beauty. May true humanity spread out in human hearts. May we all get our daily bread. May people forgive each other their trespasses and not bring each other into temptation through hatred. May peace spread out across all the earth. Amen. Now, we have a very, very familiar closing hymn, This Little Light of Mine, so you should not need the hymnal for this, plus we'll be projecting the words. But I think the choir's pretty small. Would the choir like some help today with This Little Light of Mine? I would like to invite anyone up. You just have to stay clear of the table. We won't, knock anything over the table, but just come up, and if you want to sing and clap up front with me, please join in, especially if you're a kid and you're getting the wiggles, okay? All right, please rise in body or spirit to sing This Little Light of Mine. And your flower can be your little light.
Now, please join me as we extinguish the chalice by reading the words in your program. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing words are from the Reverend Jonalou Johnstone. May the flower you have chosen remind you of the blessings you receive from those gathered here. May it remind you of the beauty of the earth, of the natural world, and all the gifts that are human, animal, and plant companions share with us. May it remind you of the artwork we created here together and the art we create here together week after week, the art of creating community. Dear ones, go in peace, return in love, and happy Mother's Day.